It's first grade and this kid's at a school assembly. The whole school is there. It's a very small school, kindergarten through 12th grade. And it's some educational assembly, like the frickin' Wiggles, trying to get students to learn in fun ways. Actors singing and dancing, they're trying way too hard to make learning look fun. And that's a rhombus. Well, this kid is barely paying attention. Because the night before this, he was watching Spider-Man cartoons, and he was thinking about an episode. So he's half asleep when one of the actors asks, "All right, students, who sailed the ocean blue in 1492? Well, this kid's friend elbows him. He's messing with him. "Hey, bro, she called on you." So he raises his hand.
Okay.
She says, "Okay, what's the answer?" "What's the question?" "Who sailed the ocean blue in 1492? And instead of actually thinking about it, he said the first thing that comes to his mind. "Norman Virgil Osborne." No. Dead silence. Everyone's confused. Then one of the older kids says, "Did he just answer that question with the Green Goblin? That's hilarious!" And then suddenly the entire school starts cheering him on. They push him down to the middle of the gym and they tell him to dance. Dance, dance, dance. They're chanting. The kid has no idea what to do, so he just busts a move. It was horrible. He was embarrassed and he left the gym. But honestly, that sounds like an awesome assembly. It's 2 weeks till senior graduation. That kid decides he's gonna pull a prank that nobody will ever forget. Most senior pranks involve balloons, sticky notes, baby oil. Well, this dude somehow gets his hands on an actual beehive. It was in my backyard. I put it in the trash bag. And his genius plan is to bring it to school and release it. Okay, well, that's actually so dangerous. Like, I'm trying to figure out what the punchline's supposed to be here. Kid with a bee allergy having to be taken to the hospital? Who knows? He ties up the garbage bag that the beehive's in and he throws it over his shoulder. And he gets on the bus, mister. He's thrown on the bus, everything's fine at first. Then a kid noticed a bee. "Oh God, there's a bee in here." Then there was another one. "Oh God, there's another bee in here." Then another, then another, then another. The senior kid is like, "Oh my God!" The bees had buzzed their way through this garbage bag, and now the beehive is open. The next 30 seconds were complete and utter craziness. Kids screaming, people hiding underneath the bus seats, but everybody was getting stung. And yes, there were kids in the bus that were allergic to bees, and yes, they had to go to the hospital. The funny part is, when the bus driver first noticed all these bees, he put the bus in park and left the bus. But then he realized he's in charge of these kids. "I gotta go back." And he drives the bus to a nearby hospital and they take it from there. But they found out who brought the beehive in and he wasn't able to graduate. But that makes sense, because what a dumb prank. Everybody liked this one guy. Yo, it's like everybody. He was popular, funny, and he was always the center of every single party. So one night there's this big party at somebody's house and everybody's there. It's packed, there's music going, people chilling. "Y'all, this is a killer party, Johnny." "Hey, thanks man, I'm just honored that you're here." But you see, not everybody liked that kid. I hated him. So the kid that did not like him was talking to his friend. "I just don't like the guy." "Yeah, I don't like him that much anymore either." "Dude, I'm in a group chat with him and look what he's been saying." You see, he gets shown this group chat, and the popular kid is in this group chat talking trash about everybody, even his friends, even the girls he's currently hanging out with at the party. "Hey, screenshot these and send me them." "Okay, don't say it was me." So he gets the screenshot, and then he plugs his phone into the HDMI port of the TVs in the living room of this party, and he pulls up all the screenshots. He turns off the music. "Everybody, look!" And he has these screenshots of all the horrible stuff he said just right there on the TV. "Wait, what? No, that's not me." People are mad. "No, guys, they're jokes. I'm just joking in these." But it's too late. He had fallen from grace and he was shoved out of that party really quick. The next day he was at school. He went from popular to loser really quick. Hey, that's karma. She liked this boy in her art class. "Hi." "Hey." The kid was quiet, he was funny, he drew comics in his sketchbook. Well, through a few of her friends, she found out that he lived a couple blocks away from her. Now, she was determined to get closer to this guy. She wanted to do something memorable. So one night at 4 a.m., she sneaks out of her house. She's barefoot, she's in a hoodie, and she's carrying a bag of garbage. She walks 3 blocks to this kid's house. Her heart is pounding. She really wants him to like her back. When she gets there, she takes the garbage bag and she dumps all of the garbage all over his lawn. She then rings the doorbell and sprints home. The next day in class, she overhears this kid talking. "Hey, did anything weird happen to anybody else last night?" "No, why?" "Somebody dumped garbage all over my lawn at 4 a.m. and then rang my doorbell and ran away. And this was her chance. That was me." "Oh, okay. Thanks." Of course. And he didn't talk to her for months after that. Why did she think that would work? That's absolutely insane. Mr. Donnelly was the new history teacher. Perfectly combed hair, crisp tie, he was very well put together. Then one day, one kid finds him on a bodybuilding website. Apparently, Mr. Donnelly used to compete in bodybuilding competitions. Well, he saw this picture of him, spray tan, oiled up, posing like a bodybuilder, and his bodybuilding name was Titan Steel. Well, this kid tells a bunch of people in his class. And the next morning, "Good morning, class, how are we doing today?" "Good morning, Titan Steel." He's shocked. "Excuse me?" "Oh, sorry, Mr. Donnelly." And by lunch, everybody knew Mr. Donnelly's secret. "Hey, Mr. Steel, you gonna bench the vending machine?" "What you got for lunch today, Titan? A bunch of chicken breasts and protein powder?" Oh my god. And he's hearing it all day, every day, whispers of Titan Steel this, Titan Steel that. By January, he freaking snaps. "If one more person says that name, I am quitting Titan Steel." The next day, he was gone and there was a sub. He actually quit that job. I guess he would rather be unemployed than be Titan Steel. Wow, that's absolutely insane. The legend of this school wasn't a student. It was the gym teacher, Mr. Lev. One day, during morning drop-off, he's out by the curb, helping kids get into the school while a bus pulls in too sharp and hits him. Full body contact. "All right, guys, head on in there, head on in there. The bell's about to ring." Oh no. He goes flying. Like, it looked pretty bad. Everyone in the bus is screaming, "Oh my god, you killed him!" Oh god. But what does Mr. Lev do? He stands up, walks onto the bus and goes, "Is everybody okay in here?" Yeah. "Are you?" "Oh, I'm fine. You guys should get inside. The bell's about to ring." And then just walks it off like nothing happened. From that day forward, he was untouchable. Like school-wide Chuck Norris energy. Now, a few years after graduation, there was this crazy rumor that Mr. Lev got fired for soaking raisins in vodka and drinking them throughout the day, which people are pretty sure that wasn't true, but still, he was fired. Well, years later, somebody saw his obituary. He had passed away. But people who knew him said that Mr. Lev was loved. He was like the Terminator, the only teacher to get hit by a bus and finish his shift. Rest in peace, Mr. Lev. Rest in peace. Participation is 40% of your grade. This teacher had one rule. If you didn't speak out loud during class, in every class, you would lose points. Didn't matter if you turned in everything. Didn't matter if you tried. If you didn't raise your hand and talk, she would dock you. And one kid, let's call him Aaron, he was trying. He had anxiety. He hated talking in class, but he tried. "Miss, I know I don't talk much, but I listen and I do the work and I work hard." "Well, that's not how life works, Aaron. If you want a grade, you gotta speak up." Aaron didn't like this, so he started tracking everything. Every time he raised his hand, he wrote it down. Every time he raised his hand and got skipped, he wrote that down. Every time the same 3 loud kids dominate every conversation, he wrote that down as well. Everything was getting documented by Aaron. Well, grades are updated, and his is a C. The reason? Non-participation. The next day, he stays after class. "Hey, I saw my grade. You need to speak more, Aaron, I told you." "Well, you need to stop ignoring me, or fix your rule, because look at this." He drops a folder on her desk. Pages, timestamps, dates, secret selfies of him actually raising his hand. "You say it's about participation, but I've been trying. I've been participating. This system doesn't make any sense. There are days where you just don't call on me." "You can go." And he leaves. He thought that he got nowhere with that. But the next week, his grade was silently changed to an A. I think he actually got to that teacher. Because honestly, when I was in school, I hated that type of rule as well. People learn differently, and people participate differently. You gotta respect all of it. Bro, the water fountain smells like a dead animal. Let me see. One time at this one middle school, the janitor was deep cleaning the cafeteria, and I guess he found a dead goldfish, like a full-on carnival prize goldfish floating in the mop bucket. Nobody knows how it got there, and for some reason, I'm not making this up, he shoves the goldfish down the drain of the water fountain, like just shoves it, jams it in there, and he just leaves it. And the next day, the water fountain starts spraying water that smells, well, fishy. Smells horrible. Kids are gagging in the hallways, teachers are covering their mouths walking to class. Yo, what is that smell? The admin of the school think it's a sewage pipe that burst. They call the county. They have someone come out. They shut down half the school by lunchtime. Meanwhile, one 6th grader starts taking empty water bottles and is bottling the water of this fishy fountain. And he starts selling it for $1 a bottle. He's calling it limited edition bottled school water, and kids are buying it just to dare each other to drink it. It was wild. He only made like $10, but still, you You gotta respect the hustle on that, I guess. Anyway, they eventually decided to replace every single water fountain in that school. And after some investigating, they found a mushy, nasty, dead goldfish. And they had no idea what happened for the longest time, till one day that janitor confessed. That's the craziest story I've ever heard. I'm not here to teach. I'm here to keep order. Shut your mouth. There's this substitute, middle school, real power tripping type of guy. Clipboard in one hand, whistle around his neck, looking like he's coaching for the NBA. He walks into class, first thing he says, listen up, I'm not here to be your friend, I'm here to keep order. The whole class side-eyes each other, like, who does this guy think he is? 15 minutes in, he's handing out detentions like he's Oprah. You, detention for talking. You, detention for looking out the window, no daydreaming in this class. You, why are you breathing so funny? You making fun of me? Detention. Kid in the back, let's call him Devin, finally speaks up. Sir, you're here for 45 minutes. Chill. You better watch your tone, young man. Devin leans back in his chair, smiles, and says, bro, you're a spirit Halloween manager with a clipboard. Relax. Ooh, yo. The sub's just standing there frozen, clipboard shaking in his hand. Principal hears the chaos and he walks in. Sees the sub standing there red-faced. The sub then starts tearing up and runs out of the classroom. The principal had to finish the class. Okay, what'd you guys say to him? Wasn't even that bad, dude. Bro's just sensitive. Alright, fine. Just open your books. Let's finish the class. The sub never came back to that school. Absolute KO. Yo, dude, Jeff got office detention. What? He is so cooked. There was this one school where regular detention happened in room 117. Boring. You sit, you do your homework, you write an essay, standard stuff. But there was another kind of detention that nobody ever wanted to go to. They called it office detention. Only certain kids ever got it. No warning, no explanation, just a slip handed to them that said, report to the principal's office, 3 o'clock. God, no! Once they walked in, the door shut behind them. There were no windows in this office, which made it 10 times worse. No phones allowed. You weren't allowed to do your homework. You weren't allowed to do anything. What you did have to do in office detention was this. Just sit there, across from the principal, in total silence, staring at each other. Have a seat. Okay, on that. This is office detention. Look at me. Once they were settled, no one would say a word. Nobody would move. It would just be complete silence for an entire hour. And if you broke the silence, the hour would start over. Nobody knew what the point was. There was no lesson, there was no scolding. Just slow, silent, psychological punishment, which in my opinion is horribly messed up. But I guess the weirdest part is it worked. The kids that went there never got it again. That's just insane. A subscriber's 5th grade story. So this one comes from a subscriber who said, back in 5th grade, his homeroom teacher was just completely mean. Always mad about something. Well, one day in class, his friend made a funny face at him, and he giggled. That's it. Just a giggle. No big deal, right? Well, when he got home that day, his parents were furious. They said that the teacher had emailed them, saying that he was laying on the ground, laughing at the teacher, making fun of her, and mocking her, which never happened. He tried to explain, that's not what happened, I was just giggling at my friend. And his parents didn't believe him. And this didn't just happen once. It happened again and again and again. Each time the teacher would exaggerate a straight up lie in these emails home. Eventually his parents started to notice that something was off, and they brought it up to the principal. But the teacher didn't stop. One day she gave him 2 detentions back to back. And during one of those detentions, she walked into the room and said to his face, you know something, you should really stop doing sports because you're obviously never gonna make it anywhere. You should just focus on your schoolwork and maybe you won't end up in detention. Okay? Have a good one. Bro. Once his parents found out that she said that, they told the principal. Once the principal found out that she said that, she was done. She got fired. Good riddance. This high school made a huge mistake. All of the boys' bathrooms at this one high school were shut down by the school because somebody was stealing toilet paper. So they closed down the bathrooms until the person who was stealing toilet paper turned themselves in. Well, that's not fair to the other students. For about a week, the boys' bathrooms were closed, and the boys were getting very upset by it. How can they lock the bathrooms? That's super unfair to us. What if I had to poop? I have to poop right now. Me too, I can't take this anymore. I've been holding it in every single day. It can't be good for me. Boys, I have an idea. Everyone here holding your poops. After lunch, at exactly 1:15 p.m., stand on your desks and take a dump right there. If we all do it, we can't get in trouble. Spread the word. The second the clock hit 1:15, this is what happened. total of 25 dudes pooped on their desks in the middle of class. The teachers were horrified. They tried to get them in trouble, but they could do nothing about it because the bathrooms were locked down. The school actually got into huge trouble for denying people bathroom privileges, and the poop incident went down in history. Hey, nice haircut, Kyle. Did the lawnmower break halfway through? Oh, hey, Chad. Well, at least my hairline isn't running away faster than your dad did. Oh, you think you're funny? Funnier than the fact that your new stepdaddy's the mailman. Oh, that's it. You want to fight? Yeah, maybe I do. Oh yeah? Well, what are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna slap you so hard that they're gonna feel it on the Richter scale. What? Sir? We have a problem. What kind of problem, Johnson? There's just been a massive seismic event. No earthquakes, no explosions, but the sensors just spiked off the charts. Where did it come from? A middle school cafeteria. Dear God. This school prank lasted for 2 years. It all began at this high school when a single rubber duck appeared in the school's water fountain. And nobody thought much of it. It was just a random duck. Who cares? Until the next day, 2 ducks. Then 4, then 10. By the end of that week, there was rubber ducks appearing in every sink, every toilet, and even in students' lockers. Teachers were losing their minds. The principal, she was done. She kept saying on the intercom, "Whoever's responsible for the ducks, speak up now, please." Silence. Nobody confessed. So they gave up. They figured it would eventually sizzle out. But here's the thing, it never stopped. For 2 years, rubber ducks would randomly appear in the craziest of places. Ceiling tiles, inside the vending machines, somehow. One duck even appeared in the vice principal's car. It became a legend till this senior year. It was graduation. The principal was giving her speech when suddenly a banner dropped down. What was on the banner? A single rubber duck. This kid walked to the front of the stage and said, "It was me. It was always me." At this one middle school, there was this rule, and the rule was called the bubble. The rule was no students in the school were allowed to come within an arm's length of one another in the hallway for any reason. And if kids broke that rule, they would get in trouble. Want to give your friend a high five? Detention. You want to lend your friend a pencil in between classes? Detention. Is your friend having a really bad day and you want to give them a quick hug in the hallway? Extra detention with a possibility of suspension. Give me a break. 3 businesses kids ran in their school. One, at this person's middle school, there was a kid that sold dumb lollipops. Well, this kid would just carry them around in a shopping bag at school and sell them for $1 each. He kept that business going for a pretty long time and he made like $200. Not bad for a kid. Number 2, this high school made homemade cookies. She would bring them to school and charge people $1 a cookie. Yes, business was booming. People loved these cookies. Apparently, she was a pretty good baker, but the school didn't like this, so they said that she could not sell cookies to people anymore. But these cookies were so dang good that they found a loophole. Students would give her money for no reason, and then she, the next day, would give them cookies for no reason. Feel me? And she kept that business going throughout her entire high school career. And lastly, at this one elementary school, there was a kid that wanted to make a couple extra dollars for ice cream. So one morning, she went into her grandma's bedroom and stole a bunch of her grandma's jewelry. She took that jewelry to school, and during recess that day on the playground, she would sell her grandma's jewelry. Now obviously, these kids didn't have a lot of money. So for example, she sold her grandma's engagement ring for 50 cents. Eventually, these teachers saw what was going on and put a stop to this immediately. They tried to get back all of this grandma's jewelry. Obviously, the grandma wasn't too happy, but that kid had quite the entrepreneurial spirit. Gotta respect the hustle. This teacher is the absolute worst. At this one middle school, in math class one year, there was this very awful teacher. She would scream at her students, refuse to answer any questions, and she would act very aggressive at very small things, kind of like she had anger issues. Well, one day in this math class, they were going over the answers to a math packet, and one girl in this class, let's call her Tina, flipped to the next page a little too early. Well, somehow, from all the way across the room, the teacher noticed this, and she stormed over. "Are you in a rush, Tina? Because if so, you can take your stuff and you can leave." She smacked her hand on Tina's desk, and Tina was horrified. She started packing her stuff, getting ready to leave. Well, apparently, Tina wasn't fast enough because the teacher grabbed her by the arm, shoved her out of the classroom into the hallway, and slammed the door. "And stay out there!" After class, her friends found Tina crying in the hallway. And so, when they got to the next class, which was PE, they told one of the coaches, and the coach did not like to hear this. You said what happened? Well, you guys just hang out here, okay? I'll be back. After PE, everybody that was in that math class was brought into the dean's office, and one by one they were questioned. And just before Thanksgiving break, that horrible, awful teacher was fired. That's karma for you. The craziest things people gave to Goodwill. Welcome to Goodwill, how can I help you? Hi, yes, I want to donate this box of stuff, please. Of course, yeah, we can just, we'll get this all sorted away for you, and then... Damn, she's quick. Well, later that day, they were going through the box of stuff she donated. It was mostly normal stuff, but there was one thing in it that was super weird. Yo, what the heck? Steven, come here. Hey, yo, what's up, Sync? Look at this. Yo, dude, this is someone's ashes. It was somebody's ashes. A cremated person. And on the box, it said Gregory. I think that lady gave her dead husband to us. When something like this happens, they call corporate, and they're supposed to send someone to take care of it. Well, no one came, and days passed. They ended up putting Gregory on a shelf in the office. Gregory has become a part of the work family. Whenever there's a new employee, the first thing they do is introduce them to Greg. Whenever something strange happens in the store, they blame it on Greg. They all truly love Greg. The most disturbing kids' toys of all time. This here is called Jibba Jabba. It was a toy released in the 1990s. It's basically a doll that comes in different colored hair, and if you shake it, it makes a choking noise. Well, people didn't respond to it very well at first because 1, shaken baby syndrome is a real thing, and 2, children started trying to do this on their baby siblings. These are skinny bones. They're like Legos but super creepy, and they can only make these people. And you could buy the whole family, and even a dog. They were made in 1970. They were discontinued due to lack of interest. But if you can find one today, they're incredibly valuable. And lastly, we have Growing Up Skipper. Skipper was launched by Mattel in 1964 as Barbie's younger sister. 10 years later, Mattel released Growing Up Skipper, and Growing Up Skipper sparked controversy everywhere. If you twist her wrist, this doll grows about an inch and her chest grows out. Watch this clip from the commercial.
You can have fun with Skipper when she's little, then suddenly you can make her grow up enough to wear her glamorous teenage skirt.
This kid ran a crazy school business. When this kid went to school, they had this thing called food dudes. Students were given 2 bags of fruits and vegetables just like these. And if they ate both bags and brought the teachers the empty bags, they would get a prize. Well, nobody wanted to do it. And they didn't want to just throw the fruits and vegetables away and then turn the bags in because the janitors would notice and the teachers would find out. So this one kid was like, hey, I'll eat the fruits and vegetables for you and give you the empty bag back for just $1 a bag. And kids would do it. They would give him the fruits and vegetables, he would eat it, he would give them the bags back, and they would get the prizes. This kid was making about $30 a day. Well, a couple months later, some teachers noticed a terrible smell coming from somewhere in the library. After some investigating, they found out where it came from. Turns out, this kid wasn't eating the fruits and vegetables at all. He was putting them in a cardboard box and hiding them somewhere in the library. And apparently, it smelled like death. That's crazy. At a private middle school, this kid and his friends opened up a casino in the cubby room during lunch. They only knew how to play blackjack, so that is what they played. Well, it started off small. They were betting things like chips and pudding cups, but soon after, everyone was betting their lunch money. Well, one of the kids that started this was a hustler, and he was winning everyone's money. Another kid was salty about this, so he told the teacher, and the principal shut the casino down for good, and that kid got suspended. That's crazy. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. When this kid was in 5th grade, he started a business, a snack selling business. He bought a bunch of stuff from Costco. Candies, chips, juice, anything that was popular at that moment. And the second he started selling at school, business was immediately booming. He was selling out every single day. Well, one day he came to school ready to get his business on to make some money, but he realized business was abnormally slow. And that's when he found out that there was another group of kids who also started the same exact business. Well, he wasn't gonna let this fly. So he made himself some business cards and started having bundles with deals that kids could purchase. He hired 4 employees, 1 in his grade, 1 in 6th grade, 1 in 7th grade, and 1 in 8th grade, and they were paid every single Friday. They had 5 lockers, 1 for each person in each grade, and each one of those lockers were stuffed to the brim with candy and snacks. In total, he made $7,200. Crazy things kids did in school. Follower submission. I just want to start this video off by saying no squirrels were harmed. Okay, so this kid and his friend wanted to pull a prank at school. So they set up a trap in his backyard to catch a squirrel. They put some corn in there, and sure enough, the next day, there was a squirrel in the trap. They safely ushered the squirrel from the trap to a lunchbox. They took the lunchbox to school, and well, they released the squirrel into the bathroom. They posted the incident on Snapchat, and although they knew this would probably get them caught, they didn't really care. They were pretty much doing it for the clout. Anyway, here's the Snapchat he sent me. Well, after the bathroom incident, the squirrel managed to escape the bathroom and started running down the hallways. That's when they heard a couple screams. They panicked a little bit and they head to class. Well, they were caught and they were incredibly apologetic to school staff. They didn't get in trouble at all. They simply got a phone call home. This guy's boss is the worst. The guy who shared the story is an older man, and he worked in a warehouse. Well, his boss made this rule. Employees could only have 20 minutes of bathroom breaks a week. That's 4 minutes a day. Well, this man thought it was ridiculous, so he went to talk to his supervisor, who, keep in mind, was much younger than him. I wanted to talk to you about the bathroom rule. I was wondering if I could have an exception. I can't do that, I'm sorry. You realize I'm an older man, right? It takes me longer to go to the bathroom. I really don't want to talk about this right now. I can't change the rule, so I don't know what to say. I don't want to talk about this right now. Do you want me to write you up? Have a good life. I quit. Fine, go. About 10 of his coworkers asked him what happened, and they walked out with him. Alrighty guys, we have 2 hours left. Where is everyone? I think they all quit. Oh my god, I'm screwed. When this guy was in college, he used to work in a kitchen at a restaurant. One day it was very busy. Somebody messed something up and the kitchen started on fire. Fire guys, fire, fire! Somebody grabbed a fire extinguisher and put it out. At this point, the kitchen was trashed. But here's the thing. The boss said, I don't care what just happened. Keep cooking, keep sending the food out, we are not stopping. And they did. They kept serving customers, even though the kitchen was burnt as crap and there was fire extinguisher junk everywhere. Finally, at the end of his shift, as this guy was about to leave, they stopped him. Hey, Steven. Yeah? I'm not sure where you're going. I never said you can go home. I need you to clean up the kitchen from the fire, okay? What? Just me? Yeah, it's Carla's birthday and we're all gonna get some drinks, so you gotta clean it up. Make sure you lock the doors when you leave, okay? Yeah, it's my birthday. He said, screw that, and he went home, and he never returned to that place ever again. The dumbest school rules ever. At this one middle school, there was a rule where you couldn't talk at all during lunch. And if somebody did talk, hey, does this smell weird to you? They would shut off all of the lights in the cafeteria. Okay, we got a talker. The lights are coming off. The crazy part is, there were no windows in the cafeteria, so when they turned those lights off, it was pitch black. It's a little intense in my opinion, and they thought they were doing something with this. But it became a major problem because kids kept spilling each other's drinks and eating each other's food. A couple parents complained, and they changed the rule. When this kid was 14 years old, he was feeling kind of depressed one day, so he decided to take a run around his neighborhood. Well, a guy comes running on the opposite side of the street. He was laughing like a lunatic, and he looked pretty goofy. He then stops for a second, looks at this kid and says, hey kid, don't be sad, be like me. That guy then took off running, but he immediately ran into a recycling bin and fell over. But it didn't faze him, he got up and ran off. That situation definitely cheered this kid up, and he said even to this day, whenever he's feeling down, he just thinks about the Running Man, and he feels a little better. Worst teachers of all time. When this kid was in first grade, his teacher really didn't like him. She would always call him out for things during class, and if he didn't do his homework or got an answer wrong, she would say, if this was a job, Kyle, I would fire you. Be better next time. Well, one day, right after Christmas break had ended, he came to school with a new toy he got for Christmas, and he loved this toy. Hey, check this out. Isn't this super cool? My mom got it for me. Well, his teacher saw him with this toy in class, so she walked up to him. She took his toy, I'll take that, thank you, and said, now I have a toy for my grandson. What did you do? And he never saw that toy ever again. When this girl was a senior in high school, there was a kid in her chemistry class named Leo. He was 6 feet tall and he was super weird. One day, while they were doing a chemistry lab, he comes up from behind her and says, psst, psst. Yes? Can I have one of your hairs? What? Can I have one of your hairs? She just wanted him to leave her alone, so she gave him one of her hairs. Okay. Thank you. He then took the hair back to his table, burnt it with the flame from the Bunsen burner, and inhaled the fumes. Perfect. And whenever he tried to bother her from that day on, she would just give him a piece of her hair, and it kept him away from her and distracted for a good while. That's weird. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. This kid told me that when he was in middle school, he sold Prime. And this was before Prime was really popular, so everyone at his school wanted to get their hands on some. Well, he ended up finding a store that had a bunch of Prime for sale, and he bought them $1.50 each. He would bring the Prime in his backpack to school every day and sell them to students for $4 each. And business was absolutely booming. He was making bank until one day a kid wanted to buy one. Hey man, let me get one of those Primes. All right, bro, $4. Yeah, about that. Listen, can you please give me a discount, my man? I'll give you $2 for it. I'm sorry I can't, bro. If I give you a discount, I gotta give everyone a discount. It's a whole thing. It's $4, okay? Sell it for $2 to me, please. Come on, don't be a loser. $4 or you're not getting it. You're gonna regret this. Yeah, okay, bye. He went to the principal and snitched. The principal shut him down and he was suspended for 2 days. A full black market video on my YouTube. Check it out. Sometimes teachers suck. The person that shared this story said that when she was in high school, she was one of the best art students in the school. Well, one of the assignments was that they had to design something on the computer and email it to the teacher. Well, one day in a different class, she was called down to the office. Kayla Anderson, please come to the principal's office. In the office was her principal, Kayla, have a seat, and her art teacher. Hi, Kayla. Hi, what's going on? Well, I got your homework that you emailed, the graphic design project. Something was off, so I ran it in a reverse Google search. Yes, and don't even try to deny this. We caught you red-handed. What? That's impossible. I made that myself. Oh, did you? Mm-hmm. Well, how come I found it on a random artist website? What is the website? Not like it matters. Read me the website. Okay, whatever. You plagiarized your project from KaylaJohnsonArt.com. Yeah, that's my website, you Black markets kids ran in their schools. This one's a little different. This was some time ago at this one middle school. Every single teacher that taught at the school used chalkboards. Well, a couple of kids thought it would be funny to steal some of the chalk from the teachers. They then had an idea. Yo, I got like 6 chalk sticks today. Yeah, dude, I stole a bunch of chalk today too. Yo, we should start selling it. Who would want to buy chalk? People will buy anything. So they started selling chalk. The price for chalk varied. Depending on the freshness of the chalk, they would charge more or less. So a short piece of used chalk would be very cheap, whereas a longer, fresher stick of chalk would be more expensive. Believe it or not, people were making bank. Other groups of students wanted to join in on the fun, and they started stealing chalk from their teachers too. Teachers were getting mad. The school then did a random search one day where they checked everyone's pockets, and the teachers found a lot of kids' pockets stuffed with chalk. Every single person that they found with chalk on them got a detention. A full black market video on my YouTube. Check it out.
আপনি এখানে শুয়ে আছেন কেন? এনে তো চা। তোকে এরকম উদ্ভ্রান্তের মতো লাগছে কেন? জি।
সুন্দর।
এই যায়।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
আমাদের শহর কেমন লাগছে?
এখনো বুঝে উঠতে পারিনি।
আমি যেন সেই কাজ করি ভালো মনে।
আমি শুভ, এখানে নতুন এসেছি।
টুম্পা তোর সাথে কথা বলবে।
কেন? আমি বিরক্ত করলে তোমার সমস্যা না? আর 5 জন এসে বিরক্ত করে তাতে
জাফর আমার এক্স হাজবেন্ড।
শেষ পর্যন্ত তোমার বুদ্ধি হলো। যাক, এটা ভালো।
না আমি তন্নি এখানেই থাকি।
আচ্ছা, আমি এই রাস্তা দিয়ে যাচ্ছিলাম হঠাৎ
আমার কাছে জিনের বাচ্চার নাম্বার আছে। জিনের বাচ্চা
করতে চাস নাকি ইটিস পিটিস করতে চাস? বদতমিজ।
হ্যালো বন্ধু, আমার রোদে দিছস? এই তো দিছি তো, ঠিক মতো রোদে দিছস?
কি শুনতে চান? আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি।
ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা, এত কষ্ট, এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম। জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস তাই রক্ত লাগবে।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো? গলায় দড়ি লাগাই দিছে ভাবি।
গলায় দড়ি দিছি মানে গলায় 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 কেন রেখেছেন আমাকে? কি হয়েছে বলতো?
আর বলিস না, তোরে যে বুকিং দিছে সে তো এখন আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
জিসান, আমার দরজা লাগাই দিছে। আমার দরজা লাগাই দিছে। কই যায়? কই যা? ফোন দিয়ে যেতেছি, তুমি ফোনই ধরো না, তোমার ফোন ধরার কোনো নামই নাই, কোনো কথা, তোমার ফোন ধরো না কেন?
এবারে এক্সামের প্রিপারেশন কি রকম তোদের? আমি তো খুবই এক্সাইটেড কারণ আমার প্রিপারেশন খুবই ভালো।
জিসান দরজা খোল।
কি বুঝতেছি না।
সারাদিন আমি যেন ভালো হয়ে চলি।
আচ্ছা বাবা, কি হয়েছে বলো তো? সারাক্ষণ কি নিয়ে চিন্তা করো?
শুভ, এই শুভ, এই যে
বাড়িতে আমার মা, বোন টুম্পা। আপনার? আপনাকে যদি কখনো বলা হয়।
3 দুগুণে কত? 6। গুড, ভেরি গুড।
একটা ফোন আসতেছে, বুঝছো? আমি
মা, ভাইয়ের সাথে